Though the weather outside is frightful,
but inside is so delightful.
It's Christmas in July.
Let's review.
Let's review.
Let's review.
Looks great.
Season 8.
Bum.
All right, folks. That's right. We're back for more Christmas in July. We're past the halfway point, getting towards the finale. En route, Dragon, we're talking about Sesame Street, Christmas Eve on Sesame Street. This is an old school one, man. This goes all the way back to 1978, I believe.
Yes.
Yeah, so this was a throwback. Dragon, I feel like you and I kind of have the same basic thesis statement. I'm really feeling this one for the most part, except my God, it's got a really slow pace to it, and some of the songs are just kind of straight up unnecessary, if I'm being completely honest.
I mean, the main song I have compunction with is basically, I think outside of the opening of this puppy, it's a great ride. It's just the opening that's the big slow down crawl of like, that's the thing, like, it's not the best way to open this, but everything else though I think is gravy.
All right, that's fair. I mean, the songs are nice. Like, there's one song that they do with sign language, which I thought was great that they were doing it with sign language. Like, that was great. I just didn't think it was a very good song.
Okay, you're right about okay. So, yeah. Also, okay, fine, the opening and that one, but outside of that,
I mean, and I want to emphasize, even with that one, I really appreciated the sign language of it all. So it's like, it's not a great sign, but they're still doing. It's not a great song, but they're still doing something with it at least, So.
Yeah, I mean, overall, this was like a delightful find, and we had a few options with Sesame Street in terms of covering Christmas, Christmas installment of it. But here's the thing for me. For me, in terms of suggesting this one, Kermit clinched it. It's like, oh my God, Kermit the Frog.
Absolutely, yeah.
This is like OG Kermit the Frog. I'm talking like,
do you think Kermit is the reason this isn't on HBO Max?
God, well, here's the thing. Okay, here's the trippy thing. So you brought it up. So, this was, and I thought it was crazy because again, I saw this like around the holidays. This was on HBO Max. And I'm convinced that they pulled it hopefully until at least Christmas time. They're going to put it back on there for some reason.
I mean, maybe, but like since then, the Muppet Show arrived on Disney Plus. So.
That's it. Now that's an excellent point. All I can tell you is that it was there 2020 apparently. But
well, then again, is there other Kermit? Is there other Sesame Street stuff?
Well, Tiki, they have the entire catalog of just the straightforward, Sesame Street, and that includes Kermit the Frog in those early seasons. So
okay, so yeah.
Also, think about it. On the flip side, Disney Plus, they have the Muppet movie. They have Sesame Street cameos in 3 of the Muppet movies. So
that's true. That's true.
There you go. So any way you slice it, it's.
All right. Well, regardless, Dragon, this is a very. Let's just. Do you have any other factoids?
Yeah, sure. So not a lot here because there's very limited. So this was a special done in '78. Won an Emmy for outstanding children's programming. It was let's see. So here's the weird thing. There were 2 holiday specials released in the same year that were both Sesame Street Christmas specials. Okay, and we picked the good one from what I understand.
Okay.
The other one is a special Sesame Street Christmas.
That's literally what it's called, just a special Sesame Street Christmas.
Yeah, a special Sesame Street Christmas.
Okay, all right.
And so that's what, and I already told you the whole HBO Max thing, where oddly it is missing, but thankfully we were able to find it on YouTube, which again is not a feather in HBO's cap, by the way. Like, hey, it was here, it's not now, so seek it out.
Yeah, I mean, with HBO Max, it's like I don't understand why they keep like swapping out their catalog so much.
I mean, guys, you spent a pretty penny on getting the Sesame Street stuff, and there's like a whole hub for it and everything, and yet it's either not all on there, or you're swapping it out for some reason. What gives?
And like, I'm not a big Harry Potter guy when it comes to the movies, but as far as I know, that's been like on and off of there at least a couple times.
I mean, even pre-HBO Max, that Sesame Street thing was there, from what I
No,
recall.
I hear you,
On the
yeah.
straight HBO Max. Like, this thing is like, that's why I was confident we could do this any way you slice it, but then it comes out, it's not, why is it not there?
All right, well.
Okay, anyway, so yeah, it's, and, you know, John Stone, of course, the consummate director, writer, and creative force. Basically, second, honestly, more so than Jim Henson. I know it's shocking to say, more than Jim Henson, possibly. John Stone was the lifeblood of Sesame Street. So that guy, he was the engine that kind of made.
I wouldn't argue with you. I mean, obviously Jim Henson is the lifeblood of the Muppets, but
that's what I'm saying. I mean, Jim Henson obviously gets the ball rolling on the Sesame Street concept, but John Stone, he kept chugging along with like Sesame Street is John Stone's baby.
Yeah, no
question. And Jim Henson, again, he gives us the Muppets that make that show. John Stone was the guy made into a show, made into a series.
And also, I know that John Stone voices Santa Claus in the special.
Really? I did not know.
Oh, you didn't know that? Yeah.
No, I didn't know that. That's cool.
According to the Sesame Street wiki.
Well, that's fitting too. But I say the point being is yet again another John Stone driven project. Again, John Stone was always a mark of quality and a guy who really cared about this stuff. So that's great.
Yeah.
All right. So yeah, let's get into the.
So Dragon, we can just yada past the.
Yeah, exactly. Just we should acknowledge what it is.
I mean, I want to spend some time just examining like kind of like what they were thinking.
Sure. Okay. Well. Okay, well, let's start off with it then. Okay, we'll just
like I don't want to go beat by beat with it.
I know. We gotta
casually just talk about it.
Yeah, we gotta tell the folks what it is though, Tiki, before we talk about it.
It's basically like how long is this? Like what? Like almost 15 minutes or 8 minutes?
It's 8 minutes. So here's what this is to say what the 8-minute thing is, Tiki. So
yeah, by all means.
So basically, we have the short, and we have like Sesame Street Ice-capades, which did not age well. Just, I mean, even as a kid, had I seen this, which I had not seen this as a kid, the special, just looking at it, I can imagine as a kid, like, just being completely taken out of it. Wait a minute, those aren't, they're just like, they're giant, they're guys in suits on skates. This isn't these aren't
Dragon,
the Sesame
when I first saw this, I almost Skyped you and was like, are you sure about
I know,
this?
I had the same thing where I was going through it, but then I kind of skimmed forward, like, yeah, Kermit the Frog did there. They pulled out all the stops, but why we open like this? It's just dumb.
This is the kind of opening where it's like, you'll watch it for a few minutes and you're like, nah, pass.
See, I assume it's a commercially mandated thing where, you know, maybe I assume they're trying to sell a Sesame Street Ice show that probably happened at some point in time. Because this is like this is roughly the this is 10 years into Sesame Street.
I know I have seen the Oscar the Grouch with his feet sticking out costume. I know I've seen that one before.
I do not like that at all.
I don't like it either. I just know I just knew of its existence pre this.
It like kills the whole Snoopy's doghouse idea if he can stick his legs out at the bottom, and it completely. Right. I know they weren't thinking about this at the time, but I mean they already had they had the doghouse thing in play, but they didn't think of like Oscar and Grouchland and everything up to that point, so they weren't thinking about that. But still, it's not right.
So I did appreciate the bit with Big Bird and the little girl right at the top with the Feliz Navidad of it all, just because it's decent pantomime. It's kind of heartwarming. Like, oh, Big Bird's afraid to go ice. You know, he can't ice skate, but the little girl's showing him how. It's cute, but it goes on for too long.
Exactly. This whole sequence again, it's not them at their best because
it's like once the up tempo version of Feliz Navidad starts, it's like all right, Big Bird, you're skating with the girl. I get it. All right, okay.
Well, basically for me, unless Tara Lipinski's involved in this affair, I don't care.
Right.
It's for the kidding fans out there, the few that are in that seat.
Tanya Harding.
Well, yeah, sure, that too. So yeah.
To me, the worst characters are Bert looks awful.
That's what I'm saying. It just
he
hurts
looks
the brand.
Fucking awful. He is like way off scale.
Yeah, it just does not.
I don't like the Count. Ernie and Cookie Monster are a little better just because.
Come on, Cookie Monster.
They're closer to how they are as Muppets.
I don't know. Cookie Monster just does not. The Cookie Monster really just generally should not have legs.
He's got the googly eyes though. I feel like there's at least some effort to. So it's like I don't know. They're jumping over barrels, Dragon. What are
Yeah.
you gonna do? The count is like, oh, I'm gonna count the perils.
That's what I'm saying.
What are you gonna do? What are you gonna
the
do?
shame. Okay, the last thing. So the shame is that the count barely is in this thing as a whole, and we put all the count stuff on the stupid ice capades things. Like,
Yeah.
Wasted the count. That ain't right.
Kyle Decker posted a really funny dad joke involving the count. Would you like to hear it?
Sure.
So my kid asked me the other day, Dad, who do you think is the coolest vampire? And I responded, the one from Sesame Street. And he says, Dad, he doesn't count.
Oh, that's cute. That's cute.
All right.
Anyway, so just here's what transitions us into the actual important stuff. So they play Crack the Whip on this ice capade in Sesame Street.
This is like, it's not even Christmas related.
Yeah.
That's what really bothers me about this opening.
Unless we're in Rockefeller Center.
Besides the Feliz Navidad and the fact that there just happens to be like, like a Christmas tree and like some vague Christmas. It's like it's not even that holiday centered.
I mean, the biggest stretch I can make is it's kind of Christmassy by way of Charlie Brown Christmas, where it opens with them playing Crack the Whip on the ice.
That's actually a solid point.
But that's what I'm saying. If they were in Rockefeller Center,
I mean, if I were to guess, that is probably why the Crack the Whip thing is there.
Yeah, and and basically, we can't go to Rockefeller Center because that would defeat the purpose of Sesame Street. Is like New York, but it's not New York.
Right.
Yeah. Anyway, so we toss Oscar breaks free of the whole Crack the Whip thing, and he basically gets tossed, just goes flying down the stairs and everything. And again, it's out the door, and we've wasted 8 minutes. But now we can start things here. So, Big Bird and Patty, who is our operative kind of little girl character of the special.
Well, it's all a credit sequence too, by the way. It's a long credit sequence.
What I'm saying, it's almost like a shortened version of the Albuquerque verse credits.
Now, Dragon, I just recently watched a movie that I'm going to be very high on Memoirs that features a 25-minute prologue before the opening titles.
I wonder if that beats all the Breaking Bad particularly, but also Better Call Saul. They have enormously long credits. If you ever look, all the credits popping up during the openings of the show and everything. So I wonder if that beats the record.
Well, I mean, it's not a credit scene; it's a cold open. Like, there's no credits involved.
Well, I mean, like, are credits popping up on the screen while stuff's going on?
No.
Oh.
It's literally just a cold open. Like, it's basically a short film setting up the mythology of the movie.
It's like a 25-minute cold open then.
Yeah, but anyways, that works. I loved that. But this does not.
Okay. Anyway, so Big Bird and Patty, little girl character here. They're checking on Oscar. You okay? Says like, let's go back and do it again.
Oh, did you know that line was okay? This is a fun fact.
Yeah,
here.
This was originally. I've been thrown out of.
Yeah. Okay. Go for it.
So Oscar originally said, like, I've been thrown out of a better. What is it? Worse places than this.
Worse places.
I've been thrown out of worse places than this, and basically it's like a little the implication. What is Oscar the Grouch doing in the off hours of Sesame Street?
Okay, so fun fact: they changed that line for this, but they kept it in the kids' book adaptation of it.
Really? Oh my god!
Yeah.
Crazy.
All right.
All right. So anyway, let's see. So after that, let's go back and do it again.
So it's like the Dragon. You know what the tipping point of this special is? Literally, it's like you can see them transform. It's like it goes from bad to good.
Yeah.
When they tip the trash can up, and it goes from like the crappy feet costume to like actual Muppet Oscar.
Exactly.
It's like there we go. All right. 8 minutes and 30 seconds, but we're in proper Sesame Street territory.
Yeah, we are. So big, and again, I love I love fundamentally early Sesame Street, and I have nothing against like kind of like. It's almost like a Rugrats thing where you have early Rugrats and you have like the middle Rugrats where Dill's involved, but it's in the early parts of that.
Right. And then you have the Kimmy era.
Yeah, exactly. So it's kind of weird. And like in the middle there, you have good stuff.
Elmo Kimmy?
No. Elmo's in kind of that middle space. That's what I'm saying. So,
so
middle
Elmo's
space.
Still, then.
Yes, that exactly sure. Now the middle space has like some guys like Telly. I love Telly, man. So he's like in the middle space. So that's what I'm saying. You have kind of that middle space there, but the OG Sesame Street, that's that's Oscar and Big Bird. They were the landmark characters who again played wonderfully by characters.
Of course, like the mirror image of Carol Spiney. Folks, go watch that damn Carol Spiney documentary.
Spinny.
I'm so sorry. That's so dumb of me. But seriously, go watch I Am Big Bird. I Am Big Bird is like fucking legendary.
Oh yeah. So, but yes, of course, one of the all-time great kind of puppeteer. Well, I mean, I don't know if you call it just a
all-time great documentary as far as I'm concerned.
No, I agree. I'm just saying.
I mean, it's just the way that we get the mirror image of those two characters and how it's framed. It's, I mean, at least an all-time great documentary about show business.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I'm just trying to put a label on it, but yeah, sure. But in general, like, yeah, I agree. It's like it's a top tenor of docs for sure. It's wonderful. Anyway,
by the way, Dragon, I did get a chance to see that new Anthony Bourdain documentary from the Won't You Be My Neighbor director.
I was able to see a documentary you and I both wanted to see this month.
Oh, was it the Sesame Street one?
Maybe.
Are you gonna make it a mystery movie?
Well, maybe.
All right, fair enough.
Yeah. Anywho, so regardless, yeah. So we have again landmark Carol Spinney of it all. One of again the one of the great dynamics, and we get to see again the dichotomy of that man's personality with these two characters and they're interacting with each other, which is a great idea for the special. You have like the kind of our optimist with kind of our Scrooge. So Big Bird's all excited for Santa Claus and the reindeer and everything tonight. Then Oscar is the Scrooge. He just brings them down.
Like a domino effect almost. It's just like this one little suggestion. And we go to some genuinely dark places with it at the end.
Yes, we do. Yes, we do. So Oscar innocently, through his vein, just he pokes holes in the whole. Hey, how does Santa fit down the chimney?
I like that you point that out, the innocence of it, because you're absolutely right. It's like there's no real malicious intent here. Like, if anything, he's kind of just curious.
Yeah, it's like it's the little thought, It's like he's incepted the idea, not maliciously, but he's
It's like a Sesame Street inception, Dragon.
Him keeping it going, though, that's him. That's him starting to get a little more malicious. But still,
that's fair. That's fair.
So anyway, so the whole the windows, the doors, they're locked, and so windows and doors they lock. Then you have what about the back door? So it's chimney or nothing. I don't know how. So anyway, point being, Big Bird's kind of in a conundrum here. Well, you better find out, because if he doesn't get in, there's going to be a lot of empty stockings tomorrow.
I really like how, oh god, and then we morph into the fucking hideous legs.
Unfortunately. it's like those moments where Alf.
It's like, did we really need to see that? Like, couldn't we just use our imagination to picture how Oscar gets around, right? Like,
yeah, it's like the bit with Alf. Sometimes in the wide shots of Alf, you would have like a little person in a costume to show.
Right. Oh god.
I mean, sometimes it looked better than others, but on the whole, it was just you never wanted to see it, Yeah.
So I really like that with this whole idea of the Santa Claus fitting down the chimney thing. Dragon, you might be able to interpret it as a plot hole, but I kind of just interpret it as like just childlike naivete. It's like, does it matter how he gets down? Like you guys have not been doing a thing about it this whole time, and he's been doing his job just fine.
Well, that's the point. I know
that's the point. That's what I like about it. It's kind of like Big Bird is kind of like overthinking it.
Yeah, like kids often do. Once you point out something, like, well, I was like, wait a minute, now I have to know about this.
Okay, I'm sure we've probably had this conversation before, but like, do you remember the moment where you realized Santa wasn't real?
I mean,
for me, it was kind of like a gradual, begrudging acceptance.
I mean, look, it comes down to the big man. It's sort of like kind of there's an acceptance, but there's like an optimistic hope. That's kind of where it is, where it's like, maybe Santa Claus is so cool, like he's like it's a subtle thing.
I tell you what, I still genuinely like vividly remember Christmas Eves when I was a kid and just doing the whole like I'm gonna stay up and until the wee hours of the dawn. I'm gonna catch him and I'm gonna leave out the cookies and like I still vividly remember that stuff, man.
Well, this is gonna sound
I think it was like I think it was just kind of like a slow like I didn't even really talk about it with my parents or anything. It was just kind of like once I hit like maybe age 11 or 12, I was like, yeah, I want to believe, but logically I can't.
Well, let me put it this way. I'm just going to sound all hokey as all get out, but we're talking Sesame Street, so maybe
yeah, exactly. So that's kind of why I bring it up.
It was sort of it's kind of an amorphous kind of line to draw, but let's just say it was. I spotted the Christmas gift I so coveted from the big man, or I asked the big man for, and I spotted it. And that's kind of where I knew, oh, wait, that's there already. He didn't bring that. So then...
right.
But you know what? It was sort of it wasn't like I was searching for it. It was just kind of like not properly hidden. It was just kind of there. It was like, oh. But...
you know what my parents would try and do, like, in those kind of transitional years, is that they would try to... mark some of the presents as from them, and then the bigger ones as from Santa. So, to kind of like differentiate the idea, like, yeah, we're still buying you gifts, but Santa's still there. Like, he's giving you big stuff.
That's what I'm saying. There's like a graduation. There's a graduation of belief that, I mean, in some respects, I kind of hold true today to an extent. I mean, kind of a more symbolic.
Well, I hold true the idea of Santa Claus, that's the spirit of him. The spirit of giving. Like, at this point in my life, Dragon, with Christmas, it's like, I've got a job and not much living expenses. I don't need much, so like I am much more excited when it comes to the holidays to give gifts at this point in my life.
I mean, like the era of Arthur Christmas really illuminates the imagination to, what, maybe Santa Claus, if, to the child's imagination, if you're ever asked by a kid, is there a Santa Claus? I think the proper answer is like, yes, but not in the way we present him traditionally. It's like
I wouldn't go as far as to be not in the way we present him.
I mean, just in the sense of like historically there was a Santa Claus.
I mean, if I was like talking to like a 12-year-old, then yeah, sure.
But I mean, you dress it up.
To a 5-year-old, I wouldn't break it down.
No, I mean, you dress it up a little bit. That historically there was a Santa Claus. I want to say there's like some sort of colloquialism with like, yeah, the whole myth started with a guy way back when. So historically there was at least a guy named Santa Claus way back when, or like Saint Nicholas or what have you.
Just show him Klaus.
That's my point. So the fact that we've gotten more sophisticated with the idea of Santa, and I'm saying perhaps like in the era of like an Arthur Christmas, we just say the simple answer being Santa Claus helps the parents find the perfect gift, and it works its way up the chain. So Santa Claus is there, but just not in the tradition, maybe not always in the traditional sense.
And Dragon, I swear to God, I might just cut this clip out and put it as like a Christmas in July bonus content or something, just because this is a really good conversation, genuinely. But let's get back
I want to illuminate, but we don't have time for that, so we gotta, let's go.
Yeah. But no, genuinely, I did enjoy that breakdown, Dragon. That was a spirited conversation. Anyways,
it's a seasonally spirited conversation. All right,
yeah, exactly.
Okay, let's see. So they're walking home using the buddy system, which is nice, kind of nice field trip vibe as we're walking our way back to Sesame Street and taking the subway and all that. And Big Bird's saying, "Oh, we'll find out, Patty." And then we have the musical number, a True Blue Miracle, I believe it is. So
I'm not a big fan of this one either.
Yeah.
I mean, here's the thing with the songs, Dragon. They're all super slow. They're all relatively the same tempo. They're all basically just like, isn't the spirit of Christmas nice?
Let me put it this way. The upfront songs that are mostly sung by our human adult characters, those are, they're not the A material. They're not bad, but they're not the A material.
Oh, God, and we see more of the fucking Oscar costume.
Yeah.
Showing up.
Yeah. Anyway, so the point
being, bad.
we're trekking back. We're trekking back via the subway and everything.
Look,
Big Bird.
Dragon, this thing is going to get profound by the end of it, but man, does it have a rough start.
I know. So Big Bird. This is funny though. Big Bird pitches Oscar the idea of like, maybe Santa Claus he ties his belt around his waist, around his big belly, so he can fit down the chimney. So then Oscar hilariously, he curses out Big Bird. But it's overshadowed.
That was funny. That was genuinely funny.
By the subway noise.
Like, that's a funny gag for adults that holds up today.
You are the stupidest. Like the ever. Yeah, anyway, that I've ever met. Let's see. So then we have like the butter solution. What about butter? He covered himself in butter. Ding dong, you're wrong.
Mrs. Butters.
That is the actual answer, but they don't know that. We don't know that in the 70s. So, anyway, so I don't think it has to be the chimney. So, remember, if he doesn't, there's going to be no what's tomorrow.
Yeah, Oscar is being genuinely malicious at this point.
But again, starts off as like an innocent question.
The initial suggestion was harmless, yeah, but he fucking runs with it. He makes a meal out of it.
That he does. He makes a 3-course meal out of it. All right, let's see. So again, there's a big trope here, strong trope of the, it's.
Oh my God! Hold on, we should be counting the tropes. Jesus.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's kind of double back a little. Ice skating. We see the Christmas tree at the beginning in the ice skating rink for some reason. So there you go, I guess.
We have the Santa Claus doubt, and we have our
Santa doubt, of course, sure.
We have Scrooge and Oscar.
Oh my God, yeah.
One of the Hall of Famers.
Come around it all.
Yeah, he does. Yeah.
Oh, you're right.
I mean, yes, but then he kind of backpedals. But yeah, he did come around.
That's what I'm saying. But you know what? It wouldn't be him if he didn't backpedal.
Wouldn't that be hilarious though? If you saw a take of Christmas Carol where it's like Scrooge comes around, but you know what? What if he backpedals at the very last seconds of it? Where just like he does everything and like, oh, thanks for basically paying my wages and everything. And my kid Scrooge looks at the wall and like. He stuffs the cash back in there.
Oh my God!
We'll figure out something. Day after Christmas, Boxing Day.
I'm trying to think of a director who could pull that off. Maybe like an Edgar Wright or something.
I'm thinking like the It's Always Sunny crew, but it's just me anyway. Okay, but yeah, so the whole doubting Santa Claus and the skeptic with it. This whole Oscar Big Bird story is really good. Really kind of strong moral to it.
It's super solid. Yeah, no, it's easily the heart of the piece.
And it's a strong moral too about kids in real life, coming up against like the doubters and the skeptics, and just the kids are like again they found a really good way to kind of tackle the story of like saying there's no such thing as Santa Claus, but in a new way where it's not about there's no doubt about Santa Claus's existence, it's a doubt about how he does it, which is a really clever way of like I don't think we can address that story on such an iconic kids show without maybe crippling America, depending on how we handle that story, or like there's a realism the way they handled it here.
I feel like that's more Fred Rogers territory.
Yeah, yeah. But I just like that we kind of found a way of doing that story without just basically going through all like the familiar trappings. It's a really good idea. Yeah. So Big Bird and Patty, they are agree. Oh, here we go. This is where things get really good. Okay. Big Bird and Patty. They're greeted by a familiar green face. It's Kermit the Frog, who's dressed like Charlie Brown from the.
Well, wait, hold on. We get a couple cameos by the Count.
Well, I mean, yeah, it's on the walk home though. He doesn't do anything.
No, I know, but I look. I want to take the Count stuff where I can get it. All right.
It's like one scene. He just looks at.
Like, oh, there he is. There he is, and he's the actual puppet this time. Yep. Okay, I'm sorry.
Anyway, so we have Kermit the Frog in the Kermit the Frog wearing it's basically like a Charlie Brown getup from the Charlie Brown Christmas, which is great.
Okay, now I don't have to tell you twice, but you're gonna make this the thumbnail, right?
Well, I'm not the one making it.
I know, but you're gonna tell Jacob to make this the thumbnail, right?
The way to spell it out, but yes, I'm going to somehow get through the grapevine. Let's try and use this, please.
Okay.
Like, no promises, and now you committed us to something. Ideally, yes, we'll go for this.
But yeah, it is totally a Charlie Brown getup for sure.
Yes. So of course, really awesome fun fact here. Kermit the Frog. This because they shot it this year. The year this was made, for '78. This is the Muppet movie Kermit the Frog.
No, really?
Yes, this is the one that they used to shoot the Muppet movie. Yeah.
Oh, that's really cool.
I guess they shot them in the same year because the Muppet movie comes out in '79, so I'm assuming they shot it like probably in close proximity or something.
Sure.
Anyway, so it's delightful to see him. I always loved when Kermit the Frog popped up on Sesame Street. Obviously, made his bones, and he became such a popular character. Bled over into the Muppets of it all. But I
also think he's just the perfect character for this storyline in particular because he is very much like the Muppet equivalent to Big Bird, where he's kind of like the obviously the dreamer of the group.
Yeah,
he's probably the most philosophical one of the bunch.
Again, it's like the two flagship characters of their respective properties, respective properties, just kind of reflecting each other well. So I'm getting at there. Yeah. So they tell Kermit the dilemma about the whole chimney dilemma, and the very rational Kermit the Frog. And again, this is like him in classic Sesame Street mode. He's like the reporter on the street, basically kind of playing off the other characters.
No, I'm glad you bring that because they do. What I like about this special, just as a whole, one of the things I really like about it is the fact that they do get to kind of like play around with, some of the Sesame Street tropes, but still have it be in context of, a bigger story.
Yeah.
I feel like the ice skating thing was probably part of that trope where it's like, hey, let's go to a random location and have some fun, kids. And that didn't really pan out too well. But again, it was pacey more than anything else that killed that.
Yeah, at this juncture, it occurs to me that, the Muppet Show would have been going at this point, so this is really special to bring Kermit the Frog. Here's the thing, they phased Kermit the Frog out, so this is one of the rare times we brought him back in.
Yeah, you're right, yeah.
Over time, they phased him out, so again, there wasn't like a brand confusion thing. But yeah, so let us consider, again, oh man, I love Jim Henson Kermit the Frog. I know that's like water is wet, he doesn't like Jim Henson Kermit the Frog, but seriously, I just feel such a great joy, especially nowadays. At this point,
I'll take Whitmire, but yeah, I know the sentiment.
I'm just saying, compared to where we are now with Vogel, it's like, I know Vogel's getting better, but still.
Vogel's like solidly, I don't think he's ever going to be at the point where Whitmire was.
I don't think he can maintain. I think in doing small doses, I don't think he can do anyway, the point being, though, is hearing, the voice of the Frog Man.
Of course, yeah.
So again, just this whole, let us consider the question: how does Big Fat Santa Claus get down the skinny chimneys? Let's look at it from an angle, and from a different angle. You know what? I never thought about it before. How does he do it? Like, Kermit! It's Christmas Eve. We gotta figure this out. Well, let's think about the scientific.
And again, Dragon, I'm just so charmed by the whole like Big Bird is just he's so childlike in the whole Big Bird you want to just calm Big Bird down and be like, buddy. It's fine. Santa's been doing this his whole life. You don't have to figure it out, but...
Kermit is kind of the most adult of the Sesame Street characters as well, too.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Plus, again, he's always been the fount of knowledge with all the reporting over the years.
Uh-huh.
So, who knows more about Santa than anyone? They're throwing out elves, Mrs. Claus, and then we have one of the great gags one of the great lines. Macy's? I love that joke. Kids.
Coca-Cola?
Kids. Anyway, so
I still kind of believe the rumor that Coca-Cola basically invented the modern image of Santa.
That'd be awesome if that was the case.
It's a rumor, Dragon. It's on Snopes. I kind of believe it.
I don't buy it though. It'd be cool. I can't buy that.
Anyway.
So the whole
very least, I feel like they kind of solidified it in the pop culture.
Well, I mean, sure. I mean, every time we do Santa Claus, there's always the Coca-Cola model in mind now. So
right.
Anyway,
all right. Anyways,
at least since '03 onwards. So, we'll go find some kids and ask them about Santa Claus. See if they know the answer. And then Patty points out, "Well, I'm a kid and I don't know." We have our first answer right there.
Okay, I love that little interaction. Kermit, I'm a kid and I don't know.
And there's our first answer, isn't it?
Oh.
Okay. So then we have so then we begin, oh my God, my heart melts for the story. It's a classic.
The Gift of the Magi thing is fucking awesome.
Well, Gift of the Magi is always, it's like a patented winner. So rarely does the Gift of the Magi
It's like the
story
Alfred of Christmas stories.
Sure. So rarely do you have a Gift of the Magi story, because again, it's such an ingenious story of like they have the emotional stakes and like, oh no. Anyway, so it's a very relatable.
There's a Gift of the Magi at Knott's Berry Farm actually during Christmas time.
Oh,
yeah, it was nice. The Birdcage Theater.
Oh, well, there you go. Anyway, so there's a very relatable moment with Bert, contemplating in the bathtub. I think we've all been there. At least I have. Just you're contemplating things in the
bathtub is where I do all my contemplating, Dragon. I'm not even kidding.
I do some of my best thinking in the shower, but I'm saying the
shower,
bathtub,
same diff.
Oh yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's like the bath is more like the Lazarus pit where you heal and you contemplate.
Oh, you're right. I totally get that. Yeah.
Anyway.
Oh, I definitely get the bathtub Lazarus pit comparison, especially when I'm on vacation, Dragon.
Oh yeah.
When I'm on vacation, I genuinely I throughout the day, I'm just like, I'm gonna get back to the hotel and I'm just gonna soak. I'm just going to soak.
Exactly.
So
it's Christmas Eve, and here's a big trope we haven't had in a while: the whole last-minute Christmas Eve shopping. It's Christmas Eve. It's Christmas Eve, and I haven't gotten Ernie his gift yet. So
yeah, you're right. We haven't had that one in a while.
Yeah, so he finds.
I would still say Arnold's Christmas is probably that's the first one we ever did, and that might still be the best one
of that trope, or just in general.
Just maybe the best Christmas special ever.
Yeah, I know. I think one of our best ones is the Heatwave holiday thing with Garfield.
Well, I mean that one's great just for the purposes of Christmas in July, but
but in terms of special, yeah.
I'm just saying, Arnold's Christmas, it's super S tier.
It is. Every time one of my holiday get-togethers and we pick the lineup, if Harold fits in there, I mean, I got friends who are always they're bawling their eyes out at the end. That whole Merry Christmas, Arnold. It's like, God, it's a knife in the heart. Anyway, because they'll never know.
All right.
Anyway, sorry, circling back here. Point being, Destiny provides an answer here where Rubber Ducky is in the bottom of the tub. Ernie's Rubber Ducky. I can get a soap dish for it. Which is a good idea, yeah, so he doesn't have to fall at the bottom of the tub every time. So, Ernie, meanwhile, he returns home and he finds one of Bert's, and this is hilarious, by the way. So he finds one of Bert's paper clips from his paperclip collection.
I love the paperclip thing. It's such a Bert thing.
It is. It's so great. So the paperclip that is found is the 1957 Acme. It's just so mundane.
Love that Bert is kind of just like the more sympathetic and huggable prototype of Squidward in a lot of ways.
Absolutely, yes. Yes. So it's just such a mundane, boring hobby. There's no way you could really tell the difference between those paper clips. Let's be honest, okay? There's barely any difference. Okay, I mean, yes, there's a menu.
Someone who uses paper clips to clean my weed paraphernalia, I would beg to differ.
Well, wait, we're talking about the humbleness of the paperclip in our kids' special.
Yeah, it depends on thickness and anyways.
Now
plastic versus metal. Never get the plastic ones.
Now we've sanctified it. Where's my sanctity? I've misplaced.
I'm from California, kids. This shit's legal.
Anyway, so point being, though, I mean, very negligible difference between paper clips, but So anyway, so he feels. He would feel awful if he lost this light bulb. If I could put this in a cigar box, like a nice cigar box. We could, he could keep his collection in it, and it'll never get lost again. Of course, as he says, just he threw.
Okay, is stupid as the paperclip idea is, as far as just a boring hobby goes, I gotta say that's a very good idea for a gift. It sounds so. I don't know. It soothes my OCD in a weird way. It's you can't keep all the paper clips in a box. That's nice.
It's a really great idea. And seriously, cigar boxes are awesome carrying cases.
Yeah, I know. I put my weed in them.
But, well, again,
I'm sorry. I couldn't resist. I'm sorry. You opened it up. Yeah, I'm sorry.
anyway.
No more weed jokes, Dragon. I'm sorry.
Yeah. Anyway,
Right.
so, point being, I just love this guy where he says, like, he'll never lose it again. He just tosses the paperclip. just like tosses. I just love the irony is just completely lost on Ernie. Okay, so then we have
What if that was like the prized paperclip in his collection?
Yep, the 1957 Acme.
Oh God!
All right, so we then have my favorite segments from Sesame Street. Oh boy, we have the characters interacting with kids in these honest, improvised exchanges.
Yeah, and this is what I'm talking about, man. Like this is a classic Sesame Street bit that gets woven into the plot like perfectly. It feels so natural.
Oh yeah, so we have like we start with like Grover and this kid Chris, and we just have him like posing.
Is this the oldie scene Grover's in?
Yes, well, just these moments, yeah.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, basically the kid segments, yeah. It's only we mentioned Grover, we don't see him beyond this.
Uh-huh.
So we have this like he poses the chimney question to him, and he comes down with the reindeer. That's the kid's answer. So cute, like not at all an answer. I just love the infectious laugh. You can just feel the kids laughing up a storm. It's like it's Grover's like response, or just like this silence. It was just great. We have like the reaction. It's like so the reindeer goes down with Santa Claus, like it's a party. Yeah. Wouldn't the antlers get in the way? No, he ties them together.
Right.
Then we have stuff like Kermit and the little girl. I'm always a sucker because of that very famous the whole Joey there. The famous like I love you. I love you too.
Of course. Yeah.
So every time Kermit and the little girl in Sesame Street, it's adorable. It's all like, so tell me. How's he do it? Just so direct. He's so direct with it. He slides. And we have like other girls saying like he shrinks with magic. We have like he comes to the door. And we have some stuff like there's a little we have this kid in a Christmas sweater. He has keys. Keys? Santa keys. I love that. That's great. And we have Grover. He's getting all sad and pathetic here with the girls. It's wonderful. It's the desperation of just like as he's like tell me what does he do if we don't get if everything's locked and we don't get the presents? He's just like, and she basically pats him on the head. I don't know. And let's see. So then we have the big one. The big one basically at the end here is the whole this adorable little girl who's saying right. Anyway, point being is we have this bit here where it's just this he pushes the button, he goes to the door, and he pushes the button, opens the door, takes the big step, and he goes in, and there you have it. Just again, it's just great stuff. All right,
so we can really yada past this next part.
Yeah, so basically,
I mean, like I said, Drake, I do super appreciate the American Sign Language of it all. Like, I really do. But beyond that, this is nothing. This is a nothing burger of a scene.
Yeah, just always as a reminder. Hey, Bob has that girlfriend Linda who signs everything. So that's teaches the kids American Sign Language. Cool. And then we do a little song and we move on from there. Then we get back to what matters. Gift of the Magi. So we're at Hooper's store. My God.
Oh God, this might be my favorite. Yes. Like the Mr. Hooper stuff might be my favorite stuff in the whole thing.
That's what I'm saying. The Gift of the Magi story overall gives you all the Hooper stuff. It's perfect. So let's see. So
Mr. Hooper's does you do there is a Mr. Hooper's general store in Sesame Street Land at Cyril, by the way.
That's good to know.
Yes. Anyways.
Very often it didn't have that. So we have
it still bothers me that land is called Sesame Street Land and not just Sesame Street, though.
Yeah.
Anyways.
All right, so point being, Ernie does not have any money, but he proposes a trade for the cigar box, which would be Rubber Ducky. Yo, Rubber Ducky, are you sure? I just love like the utter tender sincerity of Ernie here. Just, well, I just got to have that cigar box, Mr.
What's funny is that I honestly feel even more for Bert in his moment, but we'll get there.
Me too. Yes, but still, the performance
Which is
here.
funny because it's just a damn paperclip, and Rubber Ducky is like a fixture of this whole show. But but somehow they do it.
Again, gift of the Magi, Tiki. He just brings out the best in Bert and Ernie and everyone here. It's top tier.
All right.
So then he just kind of casually passes Bert, like, oh yeah, I was just going, like, they're both kind of lying for a reason like that. There's he was going passing through. So then Bert's approach here. He goes into the bargain of a sales pitch here. The deal of a lifetime, Mr. Hooper. My paperclip collection here there's Jumbo Jim, just kind of the center of the collection.
Jim.
Yep, the Jumbo Jim paperclip. And there's a chrome plate one I got from a convention. So he wants to trade the collection for a pink soap dish. Well, you talked me into it. Are you sure? Yeah, I'm sure. So then we have that very human regret on.
Yeah, just the whole like, Mr. Hooper. Do you think maybe I could visit my What kills me is the fact that he can't even finish the sentence.
I know. It's that never mind. No, it broke my heart.
That fucking kills me. And again, it's for a paperclip.
I know. God, it's like a little chain of paper clips. All right, so then we have like another little thing with the kids. Basically, Grover and Billy, and we have this thing where Grover's like doing like an exercise here. I'll pretend to be Santa Claus and you be you, and it's hilarious. Because Frank Oz just killing it here. It just keeps coming back. It's like saying goodbye to the kid and asking how he can get out, and it's like the door is locked. Try the window. Gotcha. And he goes there. Is like it's shut. Open it. It's locked. I'm in big trouble. It's hilarious.
All right, so then we get Cookie Monster writing to Santa.
Cookie Monster Runner is brilliant.
Dear Santa, I don't care what cookie you bring me. Surprise me.
Yeah, well, yeah, it's basically just to sum it all up. You have these interspersed, like that's the second.
I love how he's like, is he like eating the pencil as he's going on? Yes, he is.
Yeah. So first, he does the letter. He's basically he's thinking about what cookies specifically he wants before the next attempt. He throws out the window, whatever. It's just surprise me, Santa. So he lists out a whole bunch of cookies. Anyways, as he's salivating over all the different types of delicious cookies he wants, he's eating the pencil until he has no pencil to write down the stuff on the list. It's hilarious. So then we check in with Kermit here. So Kermit's like,
and this might be our thumbnail image right here, by the way.
Right.
Just saying for future reference.
Well, again, we're at the
two sitting down face to face.
So hopefully we can find it. So. Kermit reports in with the demographics of a survey indicate a solution may not be altogether definitive. Like, what does that mean? So basically, we have like all.
I love that wording from Kermit. Like, the survey is altogether not entirely definitive. It's great Kermit dialogue.
That it is. So we basically tosses out like basically what those kids scenes earlier probably kind of like amounted to at the end, and it's the stuff we didn't see. Like, he takes a crash diet every Christmas Eve to lose 200 pounds. All the chimneys are rubber. He sends an elf. He sneaks in. This one's hilarious. He sneaks in with the relatives on Thanksgiving and hides in the laundry.
God.
Oh yeah, there's like a fishing pole, and it's like Big Bird's like, oh, what do we do? It's not. None of that's gonna help us. None of that sounds right. So as Big Bird's kind of beginning to inch into the darkest hour of his soul on Christmas Eve, Cookie Monster is now attempted a typewriter, which he says, you know what, Santa, surprise me with cookies. Whatever it is. Basically, now he's thinking about, I wonder what kind of cookies Santa will give me. As he's thinking about it, he basically eats every part of the typewriter, including the paper, once he's thinking about a fortune cookie, which would have paper in it.
Oh, God.
Hilarious. Oh, God, I love it.
What's your favorite cookie, Dragon?
Well, easily Buttercrunch, but not Buttercrunch with Heath. I hate the Heath.
All right. Peppermint chocolate chip, which I have only gotten a couple times at Disney. But the peppermint in cookie, I don't know. There's just something about it. Anyways, go ahead.
Right. So let's see. But again, just OG Buttercrunch. Like Buttercrunch with none of that crap put into it. Just butter.
Fair enough.
So, right. Let's see. Now I want cookies. Okay. So Big Bird proposes a scientific way to examine how someone of Santa Claus's size, gets down the chimney. Enter Mr. Snuffleupagus.
Oh God, this is another just great bit.
And for the trope of it all, Snuffy, big old Santa hat.
Of course, of course.
So Snuffy, he works his way into this barrel representing the chimney, and really impressive puppetry. I know we cut away, but getting up to that point, though, I guess someone having to climb up this little ramp and then go.
Yeah.
So it's impressive. So basically,
even when we cut away, it's impressive. Like just the scale of like him stuffed into the barrel.
Yeah, and we have
it's a cool kind of illusion.
Santa only has 2 feet, Bird. Well, maybe it's like a reindeer. Like we talked about the reindeer going down there too. So anyway, he did it. Says, Bird, just one question: do we know how he gets out? Then Patty essentially gives like a face palm, like, oh God, why didn't we think of that before?
I really, really love. This is just kind of like a common thing with Snuffleupagus, but I love how he calls Big Bird Bird.
Yeah.
Just such an endearing, like literally every time I hear him refer to Big Bird as Bird, it just kind of warms my heart a little bit.
It does. Mm-hmm. Oh man, seriously, but again, we've lost all the greats, man. It makes it now there's like that bittersweet quality. We lost Jerry Nelson and Carol Spinney, and it's all, oh man, the characters have ascended. Now every time you hear a Bird, it's like it's even more special. All right, so then speaking of characters who have ascended, we have Mr. Hooper. So Mr. Hooper, he has some seasonal errands to run, which are going to elate our hearts. So he says, and we have this beautiful bit with Bob here. Bob says, "Happy Hanukkah, Mr. Hooper." Thank you, Bob. Really nice.
Yeah.
Okay, so Oscar, So Oscar, I hope your Christmas trees get termites. It's a great barb of Christmas. It's the great line. So then we have the musical. I think possibly the best musical number of the whole thing, "I Hate Christmas," which got cut in some of the subsequent airings, by the way, for time. Which I think is BS. You're going to keep the deaf song instead of this?
Right.
Are you nuts?
Yeah, this is great. Anytime Carol Spinney gets a musical number, it's great. But
yeah. Anyway, so we're not going to rehash the whole music numbers. But basically, what Oscar does, for example, he throws snowballs at people. He takes one of Bob's presents, so it all just kind of comes crumbling down like a Jenga tower. You want something? You want some truth? I'm not crazy about Thanksgiving or Labor Day either.
That's my favorite line.
That's great. That's great. He's smashing.
Is anyone crazy about Thanksgiving anymore?
Well, I mean, the sports aficionados still love it, I assume, but not
fair enough.
Yeah. Anyway, all I have is Charlie Brown Thanksgiving. Really, that's about it.
And even that is like a lower tier Charlie Brown holiday special.
No arguments.
All right.
It's infinitely better.
You know what I think the most interesting part of that special is.
Regrettably, yes. See, me, I just enjoy seeing Snoopy make all the food, making the toast, but that's just me.
Okay.
Anyway, so point being, Oscar has a song about he hates Christmas, which is hilarious, dumps snow on people and everything. Meanwhile, back to the Gift of the Magi story.
Yeah, I don't really think we need to go over this beat by beat, because it plays out very traditionally, like Gift of the Magi does. I love it.
I'm just saying the main thing we have to hit, though, is the Hooper of it all, man. So point being,
oh yeah, of course.
So they're about to open their gifts, and basically they're going through the Gift of the Magi thing, which you know how that works. At this point, season 8 of Christmas in July, I think you know how that works. So anyway, so the point being, before Ernie's now going to have to deflate the balloon and explain things. Mr. Hooper enters. And they open the gifts, and then basically Mr. Hooper has returned the items that they traded him for, and it's just utterly wonderful. And they're not going to bother explaining, it's a long story, Bert. Let's not dwell. And also the running gag, Bert, think about open, and maybe I should get a scissor to open the really nice wrapping here. Bert, just open it.
And I just love the sentiment from Mr. Hooper of wait a minute, we didn't give Mr. Hooper a present. No, boys, you did.
There's this Will Lee. My God, it's such a shame we lost him at the time when he passed. But still, just that moment of this is like a moment to go out on Mr. Hooper.
Is this one of the last Hooper appearances?
God, he passed a couple of years after this.
Yeah, okay, okay.
But it's a memorable one. This is like one
It
to
is,
go
it
out on.
is, yeah.
He's a great like Hall of Famer for Mr. Hooper. There's the whole like, you're wrong, boys. You gave me the best gift ever. I got to see everyone get exactly what they wanted for Christmas. It's like, oh my
Drag, not to
God.
be sappy, but that is kind of like where I'm at as far as like why I enjoy the Christmas season these days.
Sure, sure. I mean, I'm kind of a holiday ninja in terms of the gift giving, so I do seek a lot of joy from just getting it right.
Sure, sure, exactly, yeah.
Yep.
All right.
Oh, I almost killed a man opening a present once.
Wait, what?
No, I mean, I was so happy he was laughing and everything. I could have killed him. He's asthmatic. I could have killed him.
Oh, okay, got it, got it.
Like he was like out of his mind happy, and he was asthmatic, so he possibly could have gotten killed.
Okay, okay, I was like, wait, that's a story.
Yeah, it's not an interesting story, but there you go. So,
All right.
anyways, then we have a beautiful rendition of "Have Yourself a Merry Little Christmas" with Bert and Ernie, which again, just like someone bring out the Inside Out tissues with all this sentiment, man, bring it out.
Uh-huh.
Okay, so let's see. So, Cookie Monster, meanwhile, is too late to write Santa anyway. I'm going to call him. And he tries calling, and he basically eats the phone. He actually gets him on the phone, though, which is hilarious.
Yes, he does. Yes, he does.
But no dice. Meanwhile, Big Bird and Patty. So,
Really
Patty...
quick, because my gifts actually kind of vaguely tie into Sesame Street. Would you like to know one of my proudest gift-giving moments?
Sure.
All right, so it was last year, and it was I sent some gifts to Monkey, and also his mother and father, and it was just like all three of them I kind of like acquired like throughout the year at my job, and I feel like they just nailed all three of their personalities just so damn well. So for Monkey, I got him an old school Gummy Bears plush doll, and because I know he's really into the Gummy Bears, and it's like an authentic one from like the 80s. For his mother, I got his mother a fridge magnet of the Grinch that sings whenever you open the fridge.
Oh,
And I know that she's like super into the Grinch. And then for his dad, I know his dad's into like really old school comedy, like, you know, like Charlie Chaplin and Laurel and Hardy and that kind of stuff. So I got him a whole collection of rubber duckies that are kind of like caricature to those kind of old school comedians. So I was like, yes, I got it. I did it. All three gifts to the family, and it's all right. Anyways, I'm very happy about how that turned out.
Oh, that's good.
All right.
Meanwhile, let's see. So, Big Bird and Patty. He sends Patty home as the snow begins to fall, and, she reassures Big Bird.
This is where the special just goes into straight up Hey Arnold territory, Dragon.
That it does. So, she reassures Big Bird.
First of all, they're like, this is like maybe one of the most real we ever get with the whole idea that Big Bird lives on the street.
It is, yeah, and I love that we call that out later with Oscars. The whole he does this all that he sleeps there anyway.
But what I like about that, well, we'll get there. But there's like a very real world thing with the response. I don't know, like it's like I feel like it's much more tragic and profound than it usually is.
No, I mean, Tiki, that visual, we've had that visual before, but in the snow, it makes it even more apparent. But it's the fact that Big Bird does live alone. He lives in that big nest by himself. It's a community, but outside of that community, though, it's like Big Bird is alone always. Always, it does strike a very visual chord.
Sure.
So Big Bird, she assures him, like, Santa Claus is going to come down the chimney. Don't worry, he'll come down. I love the little girl doesn't need convincing at all during this. Only Big Bird does, by the way, in this whole story.
Big Bird just looks so fucking sad.
He's like, and here's the thing, he just drives home the sadness. Okay, it's just he's not responding to the little girl.
Yeah,
like, good night.
Yeah, he doesn't respond to Merry Christmas, Dragon. There's something profoundly wrong there.
Yeah. Then Big Bird gets an idea. He's gonna watch Santa Claus go down the chimney firsthand to assuage any fears or paranoias and anything. So then, so we're gonna check back in with that bird momentarily. Meanwhile, Cookie Monster, he goes to one of my favorites of the adults, Gordon. I love Gordon.
Who doesn't love Gordon, man? Gordon's awesome.
I'm saying Gordon gets even better when Telly comes into it, man. I love Gordon dealing with Telly all the time. Anyway, so Cookie Monster tells his pal Gordon his dilemma with trying to write a letter and everything to Santa Claus. As he's hanging stockings and decorating the tree and everything, it's just this great gag of Maybe you should leave Santa Claus something, Cookie Monster. I love Gordon's assuring, no, trust me, Santa Claus, because Gordon's obviously gotten Cookie Monster something for the holidays, I'm sure. Like, he's got him some cookies. So it's like, look, just maybe you should leave Santa something as well. It's like, yes, a necktie, shaving cream. And then it was just, traditionally people leave cookies. It's the genius idea of yes, of course, it's a great punchline for this Cookie Monster. You got to leave cookies to get cookies. Yes. It's the imperative, it's just counterculture to everything Cookie Monster means. He wants the cookies, not given cookies.
Right.
All right. So then Patty comes by, tells Gordon, Big Bird's gone. We got to find him. It's like, we got to find him like Bean Bunny, like yesterday, man. So, Big Bird, he's waiting on the roof in the cold. And I always love this bit. He greets the actual pigeons on the roof. It is like Hey Arnold after all.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's like it's kind of like the Hey Arnold holiday special meets Pigeon Man in a weird way.
So the danger here being Big Bird, he's not in his warm and cozy nest. He's sitting up on the roof there. He's a large bird, and he's not protected by any coop of any variety. He's stuck on there. He's sitting up on that roof, and if he falls asleep, he could be a goner.
That is just the goddamn most dark and depressing plotline I have legitimately ever seen in Sesame Street.
Like, that's almost like a Gremlins kind of like Christmas speech right there. Just think he stood on the roof waiting for Santa.
It's less Gremlins, more like Little Match Girl.
Oh, you're right. Yeah, Little Match Girls. That's the better comparison. I'm just going with the dark, Christmas Santa Claus story from Gremlins. But yeah, you're right.
But at least with Gremlins, it's meant to be like comedically dark.
Yeah, but it's also
there's nothing funny about this. It's just depressing.
That's what I'm saying.
Like, I love it, but it's depressing.
Yeah, it feels like there's like a dark real world quality to it to an extent. Where just this idea of sometimes imagine if you had a Little Match Girl situation in real life that could happen. Or sometimes there are those unfortunate Christmases where something goes haywire. Perhaps a kid buys into the myth too much, and perhaps they wait on the roof, and something doesn't go right.
Well, I don't know about that. Let's not go too real world with that. I don't know if that kind of stuff.
What I'm saying is there are mishaps at Christmas, and there is a sense of dread. And the fact that, again, like if you fall asleep in really cold weather, in a blizzard, that's not going to go well for you. That is very lethal.
Okay, so this gets to Dragon, to me, the saddest idea in the whole thing. I'm jumping ahead just a little bit to the Oscar interaction, but the saddest idea in the whole thing for me is the fact that the only thing separating Big Bird from the elements is a fucking electric blanket, more or less.
Yeah.
Drag, just the idea of that is just inherently so goddamn depressing.
Just the fact that ordinarily Big Bird's kind of out in the cold, just without.
It's genuinely, I love. I am not saying the depressing thing in any sort of a derogatory way. I love how ballsy and sad it is. It really is kind of.
I mean, to be fair, they said it's a bunch of electric blankets, though. But
just the fact that Big Bird is inherently homeless.
No, you're right about that. I mean, that's sad. I'm just saying, yeah.
All right. Anyways.
Anywho, yes. So Big Bird's starting to freeze. Meanwhile, Maria, she chews out Oscar for his role in teasing Big Bird this whole special and the danger that Big Bird's in right now. And Oscar's like, we have that classic thing with Oscar. He's feeling some legit guilt here in terms of his Scrooge arc, where he'll come back. He's part homing pigeon, just trying to. Oh god! And then Oscar makes the very excellent point. I was thinking myself, well, I was worried for Big Bird, but yeah, he does sleep outside anyway. He sleeps outside anyway. We saw the snow coming down on his little nest earlier, so he sleeps outdoors anyway. But yeah, but he has neighbors.
That's not even really him pointing that out. Almost kind of makes it worse because it's even in the best conditions, Big Bird's life is kind of depressing.
Yeah, Maria spinning. By the way, Maria's my favorite of the Sesame Street adults. No, hands down.
Gordon, man.
What?
I said her and Gordon, the OGs.
Yep, absolutely. But seriously, Maria, though, always, she gets it, man. Nothing beats Maria from Sesame Street.
But Maria. I'm sorry.
Anyway, the point being, Maria, who cares, probably debatably cares the most about Big Bird of anyone on Sesame
We're
Street.
married, Maria. Okay, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Anywho, Maria, who cares about it, debatably cares about Big Bird more than anyone on Sesame Street. You know, she makes the point of like, yeah, but he's got people around him who care about him, and he's got a whole bunch of electric blinds. Right now, we don't know where he is. He's out there somewhere alone. And again, we saw what happened during that whole follow that. Well, sorry, it hasn't happened yet, but you know, for all we know, a follow that bird situation could happen.
Like weirdly, this is almost like a prequel to Follow That Bird.
To an extent, yeah, it's very much like the Search for Big Bird effort.
Yeah,
on the holiday scale, yeah. So. Big Bird off screen, he has kind of a Twilight kind of sleep encounter with Santa Claus.
I mean, but God, dude, just the design of like the Big Bird in the snow with like the little icicle dripping off of his beak, and it's so sad.
So sad.
Right.
But yeah, so the idea that Santa Claus saved Big Bird's life here, he kind of showed up and woke him up. So again, had he just stayed asleep, might be curtain. We might have done something really, really gutsy. We would have killed Big Bird off of Christmas.
Yeah, right.
No, I know, but can you imagine though? Can you imagine if it was like, okay, not only was this a special episode, this was a very special episode. You know, that's gonna be a dark joke. You want to hear it?
Oh God, yes.
You know, it would have been worse.
What?
If the holiday in question was Thanksgiving.
Oh no. Oh God! All right.
Oh,
no, but God. I mean, like, legitimately, it's super dark, man.
It is though.
Dark.
But again, the bright side, the Santa Claus saved him though, in some way, shape, or form. Whether ideally, I think that was the real Santa Claus that got him out. The presents are delivered momentarily, so it might as well have been.
Yeah.
Point being, Big Bird goes inside the warm up before he goes back out again, and yay, Gordon and Patty say find him. Like, yeah, come on in here. I have Gordon's like all busy, like, no, you're coming in here. Treat him like a kid. Like, no, you're warming up in here. You're not going back out there. Yep, and again, like we're warming Big Bird up, and then we have like the moral. Like, Gordon here delivering the moral, all nice, like here, where he points out, Big Bird's like, no, I missed it. They'll never know how we got it. Then Big Bird, why do you need to know? Says, but do I have to know? Oscar said, well, yeah, I know what Oscar said, but look, the presents were delivered anyway.
Yeah, and then Oscar comes tiptoeing in there with his fucking feet.
Yeah, the feet's not great, but then we bring it on home here again. I just love the fact that we get this really heartwarming more like it doesn't matter how he did it. It's the fact that it happened.
Yeah.
So Oscar comes in. Oh God! I mean, what's important is that you're here, Big Bird. Sorry, but the moral there. Anyways, Oscar then he enters to sprinkle some salt on top of the sweet moment we just had in the scene with the where it's just this whole like it's good that I see glad you're back, glad you're back, Turkey, and all that sort of stuff. And glad you're back, but I have a question because I got a question for you. How does the Easter Bunny hide all those eggs in one night? And they're all going, Oscar! Because now Big Bird's now shell-shocked. And like, it's just like, what? I didn't think of that either. No. I'm going to wait months to figure that one out. That's even worse when you think about it. It's not like a day's kind of a day's question. It's like, oh God, it's 4 months from now.
Right.
3 to 4 months from now. And then we have like the call. They have the reprise of "Keep Christmas with You," which is nice. It's a nice way to go out and sing along. Thing there. We end on a big money shot of Big Bird and Patty in front of the tree, which is nice. And we have a post-credit scene. Can you believe it?
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, that's right. The post-credit scene is really fun.
Cookie Monster ate the tree.
Right.
And Bob's your uncle. Bob's your uncle who can.
Also, really quick in that last bit with the credits, I really love the image of Kermit on the porch.
Yeah, which is nice. Also, again, him chatting with Big Bird too. That's nice.
Yeah. I mean, I love that. It's like Cookie Monster didn't eat the whole tree. He just ate all the pine needles off of it.
Oh yeah, and so that's how he ate the tree. Otherwise, where's the tree?
Right. But yeah. Okay. So, I mean, final thoughts, right? I just think, like, besides some pacing issues, this thing is, like, just damn good. Like, honestly, it might be in the upper echelon of anything we've covered.
Yeah. For me, with the exception of the ice capades at the top, that feels very mandated. This is simply wonderful in every way, start to finish. Out after that part gets wrapped up at the top, it's this little holiday gift of everything you love about Sesame Street at its core. That's really what this is. It's a great packaging of the classic Sesame Street model, and you can feel the love, and you have the charmingness of the characters interacting with the kids. You have some Cookie Monster gags. It's a perfect package.
All right, so Dragon, let's get into some tropes. We got ice skating, we got Christmas trees, we got the Santa doubt, we've got the letters to Santa.
We got a Scrooge and a trash can.
Indeed. Let's see, we have kind of like the tragedy and maybe like sort of the covering like sad stuff around the holidays, just generally speaking. And I know that one's kind of vague.
I mean, we have the stakes around Christmas.
Right. Gift of the Magi, of course.
Community rallying to find someone on Christmas Eve.
Sure.
Christmas
Last
cookies.
minute Christmas shopping.
Cookies,
indeed.
Let's see. I think we're a gift of the Magi. Let's see. Is there anything major in the back half? I don't know. Just the kids' perspective on Santa Claus.
Kids' perspective. I was going to say that. Yeah.
There you go. I think that's also I guess. Here's a great one.
What?
Destroying the Christmas tree.
You're right for this one. Yeah.
I'm thinking Christmas Vacation on that one. Yeah, we got it.
Sure.
Okay, there we go. Yeah. You know what, Tiki? I mean, this was a good time. It was a good time going through this and listing all these tropes and stringing it like garland. It was a good old wholesome time. But you know what, Tiki? I mean, it's like we're at the end of the block on this one, man. It's just, yet again, I like Big Bird. I am pondering life's question here, like the immutable laws. You're like, what we need a name for this, Tiki, and it can't be an obvious name. It can't be a name that just says like, hey, let's list the tropes, or hey, trope mania, or something like that, or something stupid like, hey, Christmas time again. Nothing like that. We can't call it. We need something zippy. You need something that kind of like you could put on a bumper sticker, or something that kind of like you could put under that 1, 2, 3 sign on Sesame Street. Like a little something with a little pizzazz. Just something. Big Bird and Kermit the Frog are all about the scientific process here. If only we could mix Christmas with the scientific process. If only we could do that and give it a nice name, like Rolf and Kermit figuring out Open Sesame for Sesame Street. I got nothing, man.
Oh my God. Wow, you really went all out with that one. How about putting the mistletoe underneath the microscope?
Tiki, you're brilliant.
On the next Christmas in July.
La 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 la.
Cookies.
Cookies.